Well, I guess we can start now because it's already 9 p.m. Let's not wait anymore. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all. First of all, thank you for being here with me, and I hope that at the end of this session, at least you can get benefit a thing or two, or maybe I can give some motivation to you all. And I also would like to thank to the Proofreaders United for inviting me for tonight's sharing. So before we go further, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ms Fatehah Basiron. My name is Ms Fatehah Basiron and I'm from Melaka. And I did a Bachelor in Applied Chemistry at University of Malaya. And then I further my master study at University of Malaya also in Chemical Catalysis. And for your information, actually I just finished my PhD Viva presentation. And Alhamdulillah, I passed the Viva presentation with minor correction. And during the journey also, I managed to produce a few journals, about like 5 journals in ISI and also Scopus. And then in other than that, I also produced 9 copyrights and a couple of trademarks and also a patent file. So today I've been given a topic about PhD and commercialization. So when this Proofreaders United give to me this topic, I've been thinking that what I need to talk or what I need to share, because if I really want to share exactly how my PhD journey is going to take a long time, so I think it's not enough for 1 hour because I've been giving only about 1 hour to talk tonight. So I think that I will give some tips on the PhD and commercialization so that at least you will have an idea or you are one step closer to the commercialization. So let's move to the first point. The first point is you have to choose a right supervisor. Why I said that? It's because your PhD journey is started with your supervisor. So from the beginning until the end, until you finish PhD, you must stay with supervisor. So you must have a right to choose who you want to be a supervisor. Because as Jack Ma also have mentioned that it's not which company that you are follow, but it's not which company that you are go, but which bosses that you are follow. But before you want to know who you want to choose, you yourself have to ask yourself whether you are ready for the PhD or not. And ask yourself why you want to further PhD. What are you expect that will happen after your PhD? Or what are you expect that what your plan after your PhD? Whether you want to go for the academy to be a lecturer, or you want to go for industrial to be a consultant, or to be an engineer, or more to become like technologist. Or maybe you have an idea like you want to produce or you want to open your own company. Well, it's not impossible as long as you have enough budget. You can open anytime your company. Am I right? Okay. So once you know what you want to do with your PhD, you can start to decide which one, who is going to be your supervisor. Like my case, I was lucky because I know what I want to do in my life at the early stage of my adulthood. It happened when I started learning chemistry. When I started learning chemistry, I have an idea like chemistry is a very nice and good subject. I don't know why, but I'm really obsessed with chemistry. Don't ask me why, but I really love to talk about chemistry, learn chemistry. And then I have another idea. It's like, this is good platform for me to start produce a product or some product which at the end I could commercial it. I could sell it. So from here, I can say that at the beginning of my life, or the early stage of my life, not of my life, of my studies, I know what I want to do, which means I want to involve in the commercialization at the end of it. Which means that before I go retire, at least I have involved in the entrepreneur world. So after I've been thinking like, okay, I've decided I want to go for commercialization after PhD. If I can, I really want to go for the commercialization. So the most important traits that I look for my potential supervisor is they must have an experience in commercialization or have engaged or any collaboration with industrial world. So what I did was, I looked on internet, I make an appointment to them, and I went and met them. So during this meeting, I'm being honest with them, I'm frank with them, I'm saying that, okay, Prof or Doctor, now I am from University Malaya and my background is applied chemistry, and I just submit my thesis, my dissertation, my master dissertation, and it's about chemical catalysis. So during my master, I also have learned a few equipment because I have to run a few equipment at the University Malaya. And on top of that, I also asked them, what is their research area? What is their research area? So after, during this discussion, during this meeting, we can see their personality, how they interact, how they talk, how they're thinking, and what is their vision for the future. So from there, I shortlisted my list. And after shortlisting my list, I have to do a few consideration. Like the first one is accommodation. How am I going to stay here? I stay at the university. Either I want to stay in a campus or I want to rent outside. The second one is demographic of the place. Whether the place is good for me or I'm suitable with the place or not. The second one is the situation, the environment. Is it the environment is suitable with my status? And the final is transport, because at that moment I don't have any transport. So I am 100% dependent on the public transport. So after I made the decision, I choose Prosrimala Srikantan, which located at University Science Malaysia in Penang. So after I made a decision, I asked my parents. I told them, it's actually I already give hint to them that I want to go for PhD studies. I already give like rough idea that I'm going to further my PhD after my master. So they thought that I'm not serious. So once I made a decision, I told them, okay, look, Abah, Mak, I made my decision. I will go to the USM Penang, Nibong Tebal Penang, to continue my studies, my PhD studies. So my parents like asked me, say, are you sure you want to go there? Because for your information, in Penang or in North area, I don't have any relative, I don't have any siblings, friends, even acquaintance also I don't have. So it's a new situation, new environment, new place for me, and definitely new feeling for me. And it took about like 450 kilometers to reach there from Malacca to the Penang. And I say to them that I believe I will have a better life. I will have a good life in Penang. So once I made this decision, they say that okay, I guess you already have made decision and we cannot change anything, and we just pray the best for you. So they sent to me. So once I made a decision to go for Pershimala, I contacted her. I said that, Prof, I will go with you. And I hope that you can help me, and I hope that we can be a good team members. So, and then I asked, and then she's a really good. Frankly speaking, she's a really nice person. The minute she know that I want to come here, she started like do plan. What I'm trying to say is because, as you know, as I mentioned earlier, that I don't have anyone here. So when I want to like go to a new place, you know, when we want to find accommodation, so what Proshimala did is actually she tried to arrange a room for me at the Lembaran, and immediately I get the room. So it's easy, you know, when I reach here, I already have room, I just check in. Okay, now we already passed for the first tips. What is the second tips? The second tips is actually, okay, let me continue. After I reach here, after I settle down all my thing, I check in, I already put my stuff, all my stuff inside my room. What I did was, I went to her office and I said that, hi Prof, I'm here. And then she asked me, so what are you planning to do? What are you planning to do for your PhD? So this is where it comes for the second tips, where choose a project that involve or have a past experience with the commercialization or industrial world. So I asked her, Prof, can you tell me, among all of your projects, which one that have a potential or have a past experience with industry? Because as you probably know that last time I mentioned to you, I want to go for the commercialization. I want to go at the end, I want to become an entrepreneur. And she said that, okay Teha, if you think like that, maybe you can go for antimicrobial polymer. And I asked her, Another thing actually, Prof, I don't have any money to pay for the study fees. So can this grant help me and pay me as a student? And she said that absolutely, because we have one vacancy now for PhD. Look, when we have a good intention, everything will go smoothly. So basically, I feel so blessed, you know, when I come at the right moment, at the right time, and definitely at the right place. So there where it started my PhD journey. So, and then time to time, we started contact the industrial. And she said that this title, this project have an experience with a big company, big biomedical appliance, which is BB Brown. So I said that that's very interesting, and they say that our product has potential to go for market, to go for pre-commercialization. You know, when we heard this result, when we get this result, we feel like so happy, because we are not producing intellectual waste, because we are producing intellectual property which one day it will be commercialized. So during my PhD, other than what we did is actually we go to various type of company. So because I'm doing a polymer composite, so we do at each step. From the raw material, we see how this raw material is produced, and then from at the fabrication, which we call it compounding, how they blend it, you know, and then we go for the fabrication, how they mold it in a container or in a Tupperware. You know, we don't call it Tupperware because we went to Elanware, so they are very angry when I say that Tupperware because they are Elanware. So whatever we did is the food container or even anything that made of plastic. So another thing is when we go to this company, because as you know that we are researcher, and most of the equipment in our lab is for lab scale, and normally the max production is about 50 gram, 10 gram or 100 gram. But when you go to the industrial, when you go to the company, you will see that the real mass production, where you can see that a day they're going to produce about like 1,000 kilograms. So it's a very satisfying moment, you know, when we see that, oh my God, and all these things. And another thing, another advantage that we can get from here is we solve the research gap between the between the industrial and academic. Because, okay, frankly speaking, we are researcher. What we do is actually read journal and try to understand the fundamental and prove the fundamental. But when it comes to industrial people, they don't care, they don't know, they just get whatever they have and they just run. Because even if you tell them all of the scientific, all of the terminology, they don't understand. You know, so when they don't understand, so they just talk in a layman word. So when they talk about layman word, so we exchange how we think. And the advantage here is we I mean like myself and my team, Proshimala and other friends, also try to think and try to get a benefit out of this situation, understand what is exactly their problem. Because like I told you, what we do is only read the journal. We don't see the what we call it, we don't see the problem. We just see a knowledge problem, you know, like how to solve this problem, okay, through the all the analysis, like for example like the agglomeration problem. So we can solve it by the use FESEM from the morphology. But when it comes to the industrial people, they don't know. What they know is, okay, they produce product. One day they're gonna make like 1,000 kgs. They doesn't care whether it works or not. They just do what they asked to do, and then when they get the product, my bad, the product is not good. So this is a problem. Their problem will become my problem statement for my thesis. Which means if I could solve my problem statements, it means that I could solve the industrial problem also. So it's a win-win situation. So it's a very good actually to engage or to do any collaboration with the industrial, because like I told you, they have a different thinking because they are based on life experience. But what we do is, but for us, it's a different phenomena where we just, like I told you, we just read. We keep reading, looking for and what we do is update. But sometimes what we read is not reached at the company yet. And for your information, what we think and what we have done, and most of the researchers that have done, is too advanced for the company. And why it happened? Why it happen like that? Why this? Because most of the academic are not discussed with the industrial. And look exactly, guys, this is my problem. What are you doing? I'm sorry if I offended someone, but actually, you know, what is the purpose of us as a researcher actually? Try to solve technology problem. Try to convert from waste to wealth. Try to involve in the technology and try and be an expert, because we are the one that should help these people in the industrial. That's when, for example, like if people saying that when we want to go for industry, okay, let me share with you how to talk during the interview. Because when people always think when it comes to PhD, oh, they will ask a high paid salary. Okay, they said PhD normally it's about 7k, 8k like that. And then yes, I did put there I want about 6k, and they said it's too expensive. And I asked them, can you tell me what is the lowest that you can give to me, your company can give to me? And then he gave an scenario, he want to test me. He want to see how I understand, whether how I understand or not. So he said that in case that if there are two candidates, which one is you, which fresh graduate as what they said, or but have a PhD in only one field, or another candidate which material bachelor with 5 years experience in industrial. And I asked them, since you say that I'm a fresh graduate, why people give me doctorate? Why people give me PhD? For your information, we are not fresh graduate. We have done a few things. And finally we have to make a book, and we have to make sure that our idea or our theory is right, is proof. So during this thing, we have done many things. We have done, we also have to think on how to get good equipment. Suddenly the equipment is not working, we have to repair ourselves. So if you say that is a fresh graduate, then I cannot blame you. And when you say that I only focus on one topic, I say to them, definitely when it comes to title, I have to focus on one topic. But through the journey, how I want to finish my PhD, there is a general. It's a basic. When it comes basic. Okay, for example, I'm doing a material engineering. It doesn't mean that I can only focus on the material engineering. All the things that I've learned, I can also apply at aeronautical. I also can apply at the petrol. I also can apply at the chemical analysis. So if you say that for the another candidate have 5 experience, even though they have 5-year experience, they still run the same thing every day. They never get a new thing. So how they know to solve the problem? And then the interviewer just nod. So I believe I get him. Okay, so now let's move to the third tips where, okay, after we believe that we are going to produce a good product, a product that neverly confirm that one day that it was like the hot pancake, where one day is everybody want it. So now what we need to do is to find a customer. So how people like us, researchers like us, want to sell our product to the customer? Do you think that normal people understand how with our term? Do you think that our parents understand what we are learning? For example, I just give a simple example. I said about metal, metal. I said to my dad, Dad, don't touch that metal. That metal is already oxidized. And my father will give some look like, what? What is that? But if you change the words to Dad, don't touch that, the metal is already corroded. And it's so dangerous if you touch it. Okay, dear. So it's a very important, when you have your product, but you know how to sell it, is another thing. Here, when it comes to the third tips, you have to get recognition as much as you can. And the first step to get the recognition is register your product. Register your product as intellectual property. So as you know, actually we have 3 types of registered product. We have 3 types of intellectual property: patent, copyright, and also trademark. And actually that's in another one, industrial report. So patent, when we say patent, I guess that among us, when we heard that patent, that girl has patent, it's very hard. No, actually it is not that hard like what you think. If you think that you have to do all the sentence, like all the words like embodiments 1, embodiments 2, invention 1, invention 2, it's actually because you don't know exactly how to write the patent. The patent is actually like a paper, but you have a various type of invention. That's all. What you need to do is abstract, introduction, your invention, and your fundamental. That's all. And then maybe you ask me that, why when I look at the patent, the term is different? It's because that is where we have to pay expensive fee, because we are going to hire other people to do this thing. That's why patent take at least 5 years, and it depends on the country. Actually in Malaysia it take 5 years to grant it, because in these 5 years you're going to do all the patent search. Okay, in case that if you think that your data is not enough to go for patent, you don't want to go for patent, or it's expensive to you, so you can go for copyright. Copyright is so easy. Even just one method, you can do a copyright. And you will get about like, after you send your form, you will get, after 5 months, you will get your certificate, and which means that copyright is already belong to you. And in case if you are too lazy to do writing, you can just create a simple logo and do a trademark. Believe me, with all this intellectual property, you are one step closer to the commercialization. Okay, what we need to do next? After we have the copyright, we have all this recognition, you are ready to participate or enroll in any exhibition. Exhibition is a very important, because in exhibition you see your potential customer, potential buyers, potential team members, potential investor. Because, and from here we can see that we can meet, we can create our network. It's normally that when we go to the exhibition, we will take their name card and then we will try to contact them. And when we do exhibition, we will like show our product. For example like this. So we are going to show our products. We're going to show our product. So if people are interested, and then definitely at the back there is a poster. So when the people interested, we stop at the moment and then read. And if the title of our product is matched with their interest, they will start ask more, and will ask. Sometimes they also try to get an idea how we produce it. No, but you must know how to talk actually. And also from here also we know their problem. And from here also we can see that our product has a big potential to go for market. Just we don't know how to, just we don't see, or maybe it's not a right time yet to go for the market. You know, because in the market there's a various type of product, because even I also cannot count it. Okay, so it depends on how you convince people. And again, when you go to exhibition, I believe that there is about how much, about like 50% or 40% are from the academic world. And academic world, which means that they have a background, you know, they have a technology background. And 60% most of the people are layman people, normal people, just want to like work, or the boss that have a small factory, but they are still in industry world. So that's why it's a very important to use a right word, to choose a right word, so that you can convince to them, hey, look, I sell a good product, okay, and this is made in a certified laboratory by a certified lecturer, certified professor, and something else. We are not producing only like, you know, like belakang rumah punya lab. No, we don't do that. Okay, it takes a long time, about like 5 years to produce this one. So you must stand yourself, you must stand and you try explain to them, this is how, you know. So this is not easy to produce it, but finally I made it, for example, like that. Okay, so once we already convince them, and then another thing is when it comes to the industrial world, they don't really care what is the technology. The only thing that they care is cost. They will never invest in high cost material. So if you want to do a project, please choose something that cheap, not expensive, so that at least you are one step closer to commercialization. At least when you talk about your product to other people will start like, oh, this is good. It's a good thing. It's a high-tech product, and it's cheaper than what we are thinking. So cost is play a main role. Another advantage from this recognition is improve our soft skill as a PhD student. You know, PhD is not only about a certificate, which at the end we get a certificate. Okay, it's not about that. It's about how you change yourself, how you become a better person, better version of you at the end. PhD is about learn as much as you can. When people call you doctor, they will have some expectation. And do you think that you already reached that expectation if what you do is only writing a paper? How about your soft skill? So it's a very good actually if you go for the exhibition. So from here you can improve everything. Even like my experience, I improve how I talk, how I improve my confidence level, my soft skill, and then I also appreciate a little thing, you know, where sometimes we just ignore it. Okay, now we have a good product, we have a good title, we are going to have a good product, and also we know how to find our customer. What is the fourth step? Fourth tips is how to make sure that you are going to produce a good product for a long time. How? Do you know how? I said you have to work in a team. Because there is quote saying that if you work alone, you can go faster. But if you work together, you go further. And it seems like if you do thing alone, you can do a little thing. But if you do things together, you can get many things. So it's a very important to work in a teamwork. Like what we did, like I told you, Proshimala have three projects. Even though we have a different type of title, but whenever we have problem, we will sit down and we start to discuss. Even though we don't have to understand like it too deep inside. Too deep about the my friends, my colleague subject, colleague project. But at least I have an idea based on my knowledge. We just give some tips, or maybe we give some suggestion. So it's a very important to work in team. And another thing is, as you know, when it comes to postgraduate student, postgraduate research is a lonely journey. Even though I have a supportive family and also close friend who always wrote things success for me, but still when I have problem regarding to my PhD, I cannot tell them exactly what is the problem, because they don't understand, because sometimes it is very hard to explain. So what normally they are doing is actually they try to give what they are trying to do is give moral support. They try to give the moral support, or sometimes they just keep silence, because they don't want their words or their sentences are going to hurt us. So it's for me, even my experience, it's very hard actually to talk about my PhD to my sister. Can you imagine when I say to my sister, sis, my experiment is not work. I don't know why, but the bacteria don't want to die. So my sister feel like, why so hard? Just put some soap inside. It look funny, but for us, the one that have been trying and do this experiment about a month or 2 months, will feel like, what is this, man? I am serious and you make it funny. But we can never blame them because they don't understand. So that's why I say that it's a very important to work in a team member. So when we work in team member, we can exchange our idea, we can support each other, we can encourage each other, and also we can be kind each other. Because sometimes there's a people that they have a low self-esteem. So if we be kind with these people, then when all the frankly speaking, if the people that have a low esteem, if we saying that we believe them, that will cheer them up. Because sometimes we don't see our strength, we don't see our advantage, we just see other people's strength. We think that we know about other people. So that's why low self-esteem happen. So it is a very nice when we talk with the people that have a same wavelength with us. So we just have to explain only one time. We don't have to explain many times, and they already understand already. And definitely when we work together, we're going to produce a lot of product, we're going to produce a good product. That's how we that's how we could achieve 9 copyrights in 2 years, in 4 years. Because there's a lot of work to do. I have my own work, and in the meantime also I have to do other things. But when you are in a good relationship with your supervisor, with your team member, when there is no when there is no conflict, you just come to the lab with happy face. So definitely you're going to produce a good product. So work in team is very important to have a good product and to produce a product that could be that can go for the commercialization. And the final one is actually you have to love with what you do. You have to fall in love with your PhD title. You have to fall in love with your PhD project. And that's only how can you solve your problem. So, because when you love, you will start commit. Because PhD need a commitment. It's not like only one-time class. No. I cannot call it lifetime studies, but it's something that we really need to commit. It's something that is very hard to explain, but I think most of we understand what is PhD actually. So it's a very important to love what you do. Let me share you a secret. Actually, I'm not perform well during my bachelor degree. I got a very low pointer, where until I cannot apply for any scholarship, even for my master, because during that time my master is very popular. Can you imagine how low my pointer? I'm not past the minimum requirement. That's my degree. But that never stopped me, because I know that I love chemistry, and I say that whatever happened, by hook or by crook, I want to involve in chemistry world, chemistry field. I want to have a job a job that could expand my chemistry knowledge, could apply my chemistry knowledge. But Alhamdulillah, maybe this is my destiny, where whenever I have problem with financial, God will help me. Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala will help me by giving a grants, so I'm not paying even a single cent from my own money, because all have been sponsored by grant. But since I didn't get any scholarship, what I did is actually a graduate research assistant. So when we enroll, or when we have work as a graduate research assistant, we have to do other things other than our project. So I don't deny that it's a very tough time for me, where it's kind of envy and jealous when I see that my friend that are sponsored with scholarship, they don't have to think about other thing other than their project. Like my case, I have to think, because during that time when I did my master at the University of Malaya, NanoCat, where my former supervisor also like to do collaboration with a big company like Petronas, BioExcel, and what else, Top Glove. So when it big company, they have their some requirement to do, so we have to fulfill. And then in the meantime also, I have to run a few equipment like FTIR, zeta potential of this. So I have to divide my time. So basically what I did was, what I did is actually I divide my time. I just divide my time where I do my master study. I did my master study only at night, weekdays. After 5, after working hours, and only at weekend. So from 8 p.m. to the 5 p.m, I focus on the graduate research assistant work. So even though it's hard and it takes more time to finish my studies, but I take it as a positive, because for me that if we learn a new thing, it's a benefit to us at the end, where we can, because at that moment I'm just doing my master, so what I think is I can add in my CV so that this will give credit to me, so I hope that in the future I could get higher salary, because during that time I'm just doing my master. So with all of this knowledge, I found that I have applied at my PhD, and that's why in my PhD, actually, it took about 1.5 years, almost like 2 years, to finish my lab work. And other time, basically, we are filled up with other things, like as you can see that we go for the exhibition. So to do the exhibition also there are time. So actually it's very important. So to love what you do, because once the minute you love what you do, nobody can stop you, and you are not easily demotivated. And another thing is, well, I don't deny that when it comes to like me, because what I'm doing is full research, definitely we have to do a few experiments, we have to do few trials, when we fail. So don't overreact over something. Just accept or just stop and take a time and relax. Because if you overreact over your failure, over your failed experiment, you will lose everything. It's not lose everything. You will waste your time, because when you heartache, you cannot do anything. So definitely you waste your time, you waste your energy. Do you know that negative vibe is heavier than positive vibe? So that's why it lose your weight. And then when you have a negative vibe, you cannot sleep. You're gonna have like all of these problem like anxiety, depression, or even insomnia, which will affect your health. Maybe you think that I never have this problem, but actually I also face this problem, where there was a time where I cannot read, or I cannot even hear a single word saying that you can do it. I don't know why, but suddenly I feel so down. It just happened, we cannot explain, but it just happened. Suddenly I feel like so down, and I think that I want to quit. Even though I already have like few papers, I have copyright, I have patent, but I don't know what is coming inside me, and suddenly I feel like I want to quit. I don't want to do anything. Why it happened like this? Because when I look at other people, when I try to compare myself with other people, that's why I did write in doctorate saying that PhD is not a competition. It's a learning curve. If we make it as a competition, we already put a burden to ourselves, which we are set some limit to ourselves. So if we already block ourselves, say okay, I want to compete with that guy. So you already have give some idea. You already set your mind at one level. So how to pass this level is a very hard. Mind is a very powerful organ in human. What I did is actually I used the placebo effect. How to use placebo effect? Most for your information, placebo effect has been used by most of the marketer. For example, like diet pill. They say that okay, this one you can lose weight about like 5 kg if you eat this one, but you must drink 4 liters per day. You must take care of your meal, eat a well-balanced meal, and you must have enough sleep. So which part is exactly this diet help you? This pill help you? It's a mindset, because once we buy this thing, we will think that, oh, I'm going to lose my weight about 10 kgs after 2 months, because they said 1 month can lose 5 kgs. So you set your mind already. When you set your mind, so your body gonna work like what your mind wants to do. So what I did was, whenever I don't have any mood to do experiment, I reset my mind. I say to myself, which one you prefer, Teha? Push yourself, walk like a zombie to the lab and sit in the lab, just look around, or reset your mind saying that, okay, today is a new day, yesterday is a history. So I hope that I will never make a same mistake like yesterday, and today I will produce a good product. So that's why I say that what I did was placebo effect. Set your mind. You must be positive. You must be positive. You have to be positive. And when you love what you do, when there is no one understand you, you yourself understand yourself, and finally when you think that I already done all part, I already done my best, but why my PhD is still suck? There's come. Have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because I always believe Allah is Maha Adil. Allah is all the just. He will reward to his slave if his slave has done their best. So so that's why it's a very important actually, and to love your PhD. And when you love your PhD, you are not going to hurt yourself, because there is no function, and it worthless if you at the end get your certificate but you get a high risk disease because you are too stressed. You will get fatter because you are too lazy to go for exercise, because you thought that all my evening, night and morning have been like occupied with PhD. And finally is, if you are not love yourself, who are going to love yourself? You have to understand, PhD is still we are still a student. We are not going to the real world yet. This is not real world. We still a student. We still study. So if you have if you are not healthy, how you want to go further, and how you want to start in the next stage of your life, which is that is a real life, where you're going to meet all of the all the type of people, whether they are good, bad, even they are like a gunting dalam lipatan, all this type of people we are going to meet. So it's a very important, to take care of yourself. So that's why I say that if you love what you do, you know how to take care of yourself, and you will think further. So I think that's for now. That's the tip that I'm going to share. If you want to know more, maybe you can DM me privately or anything else. So before I stop or I end my sharing, I would like to do some promotion. Okay, actually, this is the product that have been commercial. Okay, so what we call this is actually a Eco Diffuser. Eco Diffuser is a disinfectant spray, where it works like a Febreze, but Febreze is a solution. And we know that when they use solution technology, once the solution dry, there is no more reaction happen there. But when it comes to eco diffuser, we are using photocatalyst technology, and it's a nanotechnology, so we can't see with our naked eye. So once we spray at any surface, and then for your information, this one is not a hand sanitizer. You cannot spray at your hand, or you cannot do any skin contact, because it is spray disinfectant. So what you do is that you spray at the place that you think that could be place where a fungi, microbes, bacteria, and also virus live there. For example, like shoe, helmet, even like here, like sofa, couch, like even our bed, and so that, and then if you see, and the latest result that we get, this eco diffuser could kill virus COVID-19 in 30 minutes after the spray. So I think this product is a really good, because for your information, all of the disinfectant spray that they are using now, they are using Clorox. So basically what they are doing, they just kill at that moment. So can you imagine that if infected people, after they already sanitize the place, and then there's a one infected people, they like cough there, or they like achoo there, so the place already infected again. But with this one, inshallah, even how many people want to like cough there, the bacteria or the virus will be killed. So if you want to buy, you can contact me. And eco diffuser also have 5 fragrance: lavender, rose, lemon, and then sandalwood. And to those people that doesn't like any fragrance, don't worry, we also have a fragrance free. So I guess that's all for now. Okay, so now let's move to the Q&A session. So there's a few questions that been given to me by Proofreaders United. So the first one is actually, there's a question about flow of patent procedure. How to do a patent? Okay, like I told you in the third tips, where patent is not that hard like what you think. What you need to do is try to do a draft for your patent, and then send it to when it comes to USM, you can send it to the Innovation Center. And then you're going to sign the non-disclosure agreement. And I think if they think that the patent is good to go, it stop there. I mean, like, the center will handle the rest of the step. Is it clear? I don't know who asked me this question, but I hope that it's clear. And then marketing strategy. Okay, frankly speaking, I'm not a good in marketing, but then I love to do marketing, and actually I also try to do marketing. So after I read a few journal, after I read a few blog, after I watch a few video, they say that marketing strategy is there are 5 steps. Actually, first we have to set our objective. What are our objective? The second one, the target market, the demographic of the target market. What do you, I mean, like, who are going to be our target market? Are we going to sell it to the children? Are we going to sell it to the housewife? Or are we going to sell it to the old man? So you have to think about that. After we have the target market, we start do the market plan. How to do market plan? By advertise it in a social media, or advertise it in newspaper, or maybe if you have more money, you can advertise it in at the signboard. And then after you have the strategy, you start to do the operation, where you start to hire people to do sales only, not marketing, sales only, where the thing that they know is just make sure that okay, one day they will sell about like 40 bottles, that's all. By hook they need to finish their sale. Okay, so the third question is, what criteria company look? Like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to company, first thing that they think is money. So they will look at the cost. So they are going to invest only in the low cost material, low cost production, low cost project. Other than material, the procedure, the process. They want simple process. They don't want multiple process. They don't want complex process. If you can do something that one step process, there you go. You are one step closer to the commercialization. And finally is reproducibility. Reproducibility is a big problem, even there are some products that already commercialized outside, already set at the market, but there is no reproducibility. But they don't care about that, because once the customer buy, there goes as long as they get the income. But they forget that the customer will never buy the same thing again. Okay, there's a third question. When we want to do a book chapter, do we need to put our supervisor name for the second author? Definitely, guys, because we are USM property. We are not alone, so we cannot do anything by ourselves. So we are team member. That's why from the beginning until the end, I use word we, not I, because we work as a team members. How to produce a good thesis? Okay, from my own experience, to produce a good thesis, you have to understand your project. How to understand your project? You have to make sure that you are really understand your problem statement. Once you know your problem statement, you already can execute your work. You already can plan your hypothesis, and from your hypothesis, you know your objective, and from your objective, you know what you are going to do to get this objective. So for me, you must understand your problem statement. You really need to understand your problem statement. And then, how to get motivated? Let me check the question. If you guys have any question, you can just type there. There's a question that asks me how I motivate myself to get work done after trying many things and failing over and over again. Back to the final tip, love what you do. When you love what you do, you will try your best to find the way. For example, like when you love someone, you will find a way on how to get her or how to get him. So it seems like PhD. So you must love what you do. So when you love what you do, you are going to find a way. How you want to go find a way? How you are going to find the solve? By read, by ask around, by consult your supervisor. So you will start to do the planning. And then question, what is my target in 5 years? Since now I'm working as a marketing manager, I hope that in 5 years, each family will have this eco diffuser in their house. That come to the company. When it comes to myself, I hope that in 5 years, more people are realize that industrial people need people like us. Need people like us to tell them what is wrong. Need people like us so that they can improve their quality of product. Because if you see all the big company like Sony, Western Digital, their principle is doctorate. So don't worry if people saying that you study until high level for what? People will get afraid or will get scared to hire you. And just say to them, in each company, they must have at least one doctorate to advise them what they need to do and how to improve their product. You know, because if we improve, because we just give the scenario to them, we just give a situation to the company to think whether you want to waste your raw material about like 1 to 2 million, or you want to hire, or you hire a PhD but you have to pay high salary, but you will get 3 times of your profit. So I believe company will accept you, but you have to prove it. And then macam mana nak wujudkan minat semangat untuk komersialkan produk dari PhD atau master kita. So how to create a interest or support interest to commercial our product is actually from my experience. When we go to the industrial, when we go to the company, we see exactly what is the problem, and then from there we can create our own objective or our own hypothesis to solve this problem. So which means you have to know what is exactly happened outside in the real world that you could save, rather than, I mean, like, this is my opinion, you know, because when it comes to commercial, people doesn't want to know what is technology you are doing. People doesn't want to know whether this one is new or not. People just want to know it works, it's work, cheap and simple. That's all. So I believe that maybe that some of my friends here have a potential product that can go for the commercialization. Start discuss with supervisor, start ask your supervisor, try to do a collaboration with company. And believe me, the company would like to collaborate with the university. Because sometimes the problem that they face have been like, you know, they already faced the problem already a long time ago. But they just don't know which platform that they want to show. And as you know, each company have their competitors, so they cannot like tell other people about their weakness. So in case that if competitor know that weakness, so there is a competition between them. But that's what we call competition. But in PhD, please guys, please don't compete each other, because you will put one step back, or you will set one level to yourself, and it will burden you. Believe me, it will lead to a dangerous thing later on. And then I would like to know my 9 copyright. Okay, basically my 9 copyright is 6 from my PhD and 3 from my research assistant project. So I think that's all. I think I already like try my already. Then I hope that with my tips, my sharing, I could give some motivation to y'all to further with your PhD, to the friends who are struggling to finish our PhD. Don't worry, just keep having faith in Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala and do your best. And whenever you're feeling down, don't too overreact with it. Try to get out from that zone. Try to cheer up yourself. Try to ask yourself back why you want to do this. You must clear with what you want. Once you clear, inshallah, everything whatever challenge, resistance happen, you can solve it yourself, or even you can solve it by reach with to other people. So I hope that's all. Thank you. Bye.